Hello, finally, welcome to the Wild episode. We're now back in business. So, we're just going to dive straight in. Here is the situation I have been alluding to recently. I knew my Norwegian visa renewal was coming up in February 2026. I even rang the Norwegian visa people before the summer, and they made it sound like everything would be okay. Then I'm on holiday up north, scrolling through Instagram, and I see an update. Some rules are changing in September, and suddenly, renewing might be harder than I thought. And honestly, it shook me. It also felt so frustrating and unfair. And I was in victim mode, I will admit, for a few hours as you do what you do in these situations and you ring your mum. Because I have overcome two so-called impossible to recover from conditions, the ME or chronic fatigue syndrome and that PMDD, that horrible hormone imbalance which still makes my body shiver. So I've had to rebuild my health, my whole life, my business twice now. But here I am, still being penalized because of these chronic illnesses. They just force me down an unconventional path. Could I have made better choices in my 20s? Yes. But the reality is, a chronic illness and the emotional fallout really shaped how I navigated life. Stepping back into life after years of survival mode took longer than I expected. And I feel that's the part no one really tells you about. I probably should have realized that being a performance and mindset coach myself, but I just didn't. And really, only by doing the summer trip this year did I really realize, have the insight around the position I am in now. As I was saying to a new friend, I don't think I've ever been this healthy before. And as we keep things real, the last 5 years here in Norway have been just a streak, a littering of bad luck. I could actually write a novella just on landlord horror stories. One literally shut off my heating in -35 because I was using it too much and refused to turn it back on again until I was then like, well, according to the Norwegian rental law, which I've become extremely familiar with, I will hire in a plumber so he can actually fix the heating. So it's on because it's -35 and I'm absolutely freezing, even with a fire for your whole big house. It came on a few hours later. I think this is the craziest one, actually, considering I was literally living in a tiny village and this landlord sided with the tenant whose best friend or friend messaged me threats of violence and death. And they sided with the tenant. And I was like, what the, like, I can't live here anymore. This is terrifying. And the tenant was already quite, you know, if you saw him on the street, you're crossing to the other side. He was quite scary. And then they're like, well, oh, he pays on time. And I was like, I pay on time. But by this point, you might be wondering, Adelaide, what on earth do you want to even stay in Norway? I've also asked this question myself many times. And I just keep coming back to the same thing. This place feels like home. And for the first time, my health, my work, my lifestyle, everything is so aligned and in such a strong place. Like I've never felt stronger, fitter, healthier. I just love the mountains. I love Norwegian people. I love skiing. I love the epic hikes, my friends. And here it's just like I'm walking around. I'm like, oh my God, it's beautiful. I never had that feeling in the UK. I think I left for the first time to go traveling when I was 15 on a school trip. We went to Peru for 3 weeks for like volunteer stuff. And I've just been hooked ever since. And like growing up on my grandma's stories of travel. And I just knew it was never for me. And I've worked, lived all over the world. And Norway is the place that I just feel I belong. It feels like home. I've not found the place I belong in Norway. I actually think I would like to move up north, but that is so secondary to my current visa challenge. Although maybe I'm hoping things might take me there, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So yeah, I really feel I've built and I'm in the process of building a life here that just feels like me is the best way to describe it if you can relate. And I really love my life now. And I could stay stuck in victim mode of this is unfair, life is always hard, things never go my way, and spiral down that charming rabbit hole, which is so easy to do. But here is the thing. Less than 2 years ago, I didn't want to even wake up on the majority of the days I lived. And I had to claw my way back from this horrendous place. So I have decided that if I can beat ME and chronic fatigue syndrome and I can beat PMDD, I can handle a visa renewal. So, visa people, mission accepted. Renew my Norwegian visa. And I'm going to need your help, which I will now be explaining. So, step one, I decided to hire a lawyer as I figure he will know what to do. And already I was on the phone for like 15 minutes. He was like, your case is definitely rare. And I was like, of course it bloody is. Terrific. So while he figures out the best way forward, I'm going to be stacking the odds in my favor. I am not one to sit around. We are in the driver's seat of our life. So I'm grabbing that freaking steering wheel and we're moving along. So my favorite option is keep doing what I do best, helping ambitious leaders, teams, and athletes unlock sustainable high performance and beautiful joy for life without burning out or running on empty or, living in survival mode. And let's be real, it's hard out there. People are stressed, burned out, running on empty, overwhelmed. Chaos is the new normal. Companies are pushing really ambitious KPIs in this pressure cooker, uncertain economy and environment. And this perform no matter what culture that's basically got everyone here and still gives you badges of honors and trophies for sacrificing everything for success. I feel it is now, and I believe it's now the very thing threatening companies' results. And it's threatening its people. And even if you or your team looks like they're winning right now, how long can they really keep up that pace? And then this is where I come in. I don't do fluff. I don't do hype. I help people rewire their mindset for clarity, confidence, and energy, and better team dynamics. So performance isn't from survival mode, it's from thriving mode. And I heard this story the other day and I loved it. A CEO walks into a boardroom and says, I want my company to be unstoppable. Who should I hire? I felt a bit sexy. I went for like my best British man. It was really not very good. Hopefully, for those thinking that they might hire me, that has not put you off. Maybe I edit that out. I'm not sure. It could be funny or someone's going to think she's really cringe. But then hopefully you might think the opposite. So a CEO walks into a boardroom and says, I want my company to be unstoppable. Who should I hire? HR opens a spreadsheet. CFO sharpens a pencil. The COO mutters about efficiency metrics. Solutions are flying. HR, hire the best talent. CFO, double the training budget. COO, automate everything. And then the office cleaner, quiet for 20 years, leans on the door and says, you can hire the brightest and spend millions. But if your people are stressed, overwhelmed, doubting themselves and running on empty, you're building on sand. The CEO leans back, smiling. Next line in the budget, high performance and wellness, aka Adelaide. So the moral of the story, you can't out-hustle burnout, but you can outperform when your team thrives. And I obviously love this because it is true. Let's forget the old models of hustle. What if peak performance could be sustainable, profitable, and actually fun? So part of my wild new mission, renewing my Norwegian visa, is for the first time ever, I'm opening up my corporate programs and workshops with unprecedented, love that word, unprecedented flexibility. The goal, you might ask, I need to lock in a handful of strong corporate partnerships before November. Now, this could be in-house or freelance. It could be one gigantic contract, or it could just be smaller contracts. So the price, you might ask, is crazy freaking good. I'll literally do anything to stay in Norway. So when UDI looks at my case, I want them to be like, this is a no-brainer. And they stamp a big fat, yes, she stays, in my head, also like in red, yes, on my application. So this is me making it happen. If you are listening right now and you lead a team, a department, or even a whole company, and you want unstoppable performance without burning your people into the ground, this might be the perfect moment for us to work together. And by might, I obviously mean it definitely is. And if someone popped into your head while I was talking, a colleague, a friend, your HR lead, please send them this episode or the mission link in the show notes. You never know, it might come at the perfect time for them as well. Because, as I said, there has never been a better time to bring me in or just give it a go and see what is possible for your team. This could be one of the key strategies that gets your company out of red, just saying. And at this price, it's worth the go. And I'm not saying this lightly. I obviously have the receipts. Because before I had the PMDD, I've worked with companies and teams like the USA Paraclimbing team. We even went to the World Championships. I've worked with Norwegian enter guest cyclists. I've worked with companies like Vitsuk, a well-known Norwegian travel company, all the way through to global logistics and product companies and fast-moving tech teams. I've seen my coaching work, and I even have the case studies and the data to back it up, along with finishing my master's in performance psychology. So if you want me in your corner to hit those ambitious KPIs, turn around flatline engagement, give it a little reignite, boost energy, clarity, collaboration, and performance under pressure or in uncertain environments to think more innovatively, then shoot me a message or scroll through the landing page. Everything is in the show notes. And let's explore what we could build together. It'd be so much fun. And if you're not leading a team, but you are a high achiever, high performer, and you've been feeling stuck, plateaued, secretly wondering if you're not even good enough, thinking about quitting, going on sick leave, or you're really wanting to grow your career to the next level without putting in more hours, I have something special for you too as part of my new mission. So keep listening. For the last 5+ years, I've been working with leaders, professionals, and athletes. The ones who look like they've got it all together on paper, but secretly feel like every win is taking more out of them than it should. They get home exhausted with little left for family, friends, or themselves. They're constantly on, their minds racing at night, even though they're drained. They're wondering if this relentless pace is really what success is meant to feel like. Maybe they're even looking around at their life and wondering, is this it? Or they want the next level in their career, but the thought of hustling harder makes them want to quit and open a yoga studio in Bali. One client actually said this to me on our first call. And this is where I come in. Together, we turn burnout or burning out, running on empty in survival mode into energy, self-doubt into confidence, and chaos and ambition into sustainable success that feels as good as it looks. And while life or performance coaching might sound fluffy, here's what my clients actually say after working with me. I got a £36,000 pay rise. I still can't believe this. The board removed my boss. I'm leading the restructure with zero fear. Just got offered the CEO role, still pinching myself. That would have been a really great time to do different accents, but the one you heard earlier, that's literally all I can do. So this autumn, segueing back in again, I'm opening a handful of one-to-one coaching spots. If you've been feeling the friction between where you are and where you want to be, this could be the chance to finally unlock the next level of your career and do it without burning out. To do this, to explore these options, use the link in the show notes to book in a no strings attached, zero pressure 15-minute clarity call. Let's just see if this is something that's actually going to help you. And I love meeting awesome people. So don't hesitate to book in that chat and then we just take things from there. Maybe you take the next step, maybe you don't. Totally cool. Either way, would love to have a chat. And I could really use all the help I can get to secure my Norwegian visa. And I am super excited to work with awesome people like you, dear listener. So please share this far and wide, or if you feel like it would be fun to work with me and get epic results, shoot me a message. Book in that call. As I said, there literally has never been a better time to hire me as your high performance coach. If you have any questions as well, shoot me a message. I'll just put my email in the show notes as well. Everything you need in the show notes. That is all from me, that little update. Next week, I will be doing questions again, so shoot them in. You can find me on Instagram at Adelaide Goodeve or on LinkedIn, also at Adelaide Goodeve. Luckily, when you have my name, no one else has the handle. And I forgot to say this, I am going to, dear God, figure out this weekend. I'm flying to Crete for a staycation again. Very lucky. So when I'm on the aeroplane, I'm going to figure out how to share this journey in the best way possible. I think what I'm going to do on TikTok is Monday to Friday. At the end of the day, it's kind of like a mini journal. So I'm going to share on TikTok what I have done today for this new mission. I think I really like to share what it's actually like to rebuild a section of the business or the whole business, because doing it this year is so much harder than any other years I've done this, because I basically rebuilt from scratch with zero network. And it has been really, really hard. So I think it'll be very interesting to bring you along on the journey, a realistic journey of what it's like to be self-employed or to be building a business in 2025. So this mission is 90 days. I think we'll start from Monday the 25th. This is when the mission will officially start, Monday the 25th. Basically everything, all the material I need is together. So Monday the 25th on TikTok, Monday to Friday. And if I work the weekends, which I probably will at one point, would be ironic as the performance coach to burn out trying to build the business. Like, that's just not good. That would be bad. Then you'd be like, why the hell would I hire you? And I would totally understand. So yeah, so on TikTok, Monday to Friday, I'm going to post at the end of the day what I have done, how many hours I put into doing each task. And then I'm going to do the same thing. But I think Instagram, that might be a bit too much. You can let me know. You can post it in the comments, actually, if you're listening on Spotify, and I can reply, which is really fun. Do you want to hear my updates, like a review every week? I can do it on Staying Wild, and then I can post the stats on Instagram in like a reel or something. Or do you want like a little mini everyday update? Would that be of interest? You want daily or weekly? Maybe you like Instagram more, maybe you like LinkedIn more. Let me know. Which is your favorite platform even? I'd be so curious. In the meantime, stay wild and hopefully see you in my inbox or on Zoom on a clarity call for Teams and or one-to-one coaching very, very soon. Please help me renew my Norwegian visa. And while we're at it, obviously for you, let's unlock some unreal results, because people are like, what do you do? Like, how does the coaching work? And I tell them, well, I help people achieve beyond their dreams. And it's true, because clients tell me this. Like, I came to you with these goals and we have exceeded them by such a crazy way. Like, I didn't think I'd be living my life like this, and I am. And just thank you so much. I help you achieve the impossible, because at that moment in time when you come to me, it feels impossible. And it's a bit like if someone said like, oh, what's your coach done for you? It's like, well, she took me from severe depression where, I didn't want to wake up every day, to having the most amount of health I've ever had before, which I could never have imagined having or living. So it's really cool what coaching can do for you. I recommend, obviously. So yes, stay wild. Hopefully see you in my inbox or on Zoom, or if I'm really lucky, I get to see you in person. Stay wild.